64 kilograms is the weight of speed and technique. This is a category where speed, accuracy and endurance are decisive. Here, fighters don't just hit, they think every strike is calculated and every movement matters. Think of Henry Sejudo, he perfectly combines wrestling and striking, or Max Holloway, who overwhelms his opponents with pace and the volume of strikes. In this category, almost every fighter is a spectacle showcasing dynamics, technique and complete dedication. The true aesthetics. Fighting in 1/16 of the finals, Youssef Fayot, a Moroccan sambist and a mememashnik, the one whose abilities were praised by Sheikh Mansour Kabibullayev, surprised not only me but also the representative from Georgia, Badri Pachkvirashvili, as the Africans in combat sambo began to use a throw with a fall over themselves, supported by the shin. Well, that's really on another level. Yes, not quite like our master of sports, Alexander Salikov, did it, but the main thing is to start. Nevertheless, the fight with the Georgian Maracanates was won cleanly, like a true sambist in fact, without even trying to hit him. But the main thing is to start, and yet, the fight with the Georgian Maracanates was won cleanly, like a true sambist in fact, without even trying to hit him. 108, Alexander Varapayev and a representative from a country that is not exactly known for its sambists today, the Filipino Orlando Castillo. For about 2 minutes, the guys circled around the carpet looking for each other's weak spots. This got on Alexander's nerves, and with a slight movement of his head, Varapayev sends Castillo all over his back, reminding her that she can also work, and quite effectively. Considering that the fighter in the red jacket remained standing and his opponent walked with his entire back on the mat, in combat sambo, this is a clear victory. Maracanates tried striking, both warned. Youssef hit Samachi, Fayot scored 6. After studying each other for about a minute, the guys both got a warning for passivity, and then Youssef landed a solid hit on the Israeli Osher Samachi. Seeing that the representative from Israel could take a hit, Fayot takes his opponent down for 4 points and holds him down for another 2. Oshir loses track of the fight and immediately goes down for another 4 after a beautiful trip. Dissen-0. By the way, in this category, Youssef made the most scoring actions. The main thought for me in the next fight in the 1/8 finals was not to forget to hit the record button, because stepping onto the mat was the king of combat sambo, Sheikh Mansour Kabibullayev. And that means there will always be something interesting. Yes, Dario De Falco actually understood who was in front of him, but he still tried to show his level and immediately got caught by a counter-strike, then a leg pick and a fall, which seemed to me to be completely clean, because the attacker was standing while the one being attacked was on his back. But the judging panel decides that it's 4 points. Guys, take another look at that moment. It was totally clean, wasn't it? Where there's nothing, there's no court. Next, Sheikh Mansour just keeps pressing the Italian in a free-flowing manner, playing around with his skills, showcasing his super total superiority in experience, mentality and technique. Another funny moment from the 1/8 finals. Kiro Byrne from Trinidad and Tobago decided to put on a sort of promotion for his upcoming fight, preparing a little skit for the audience. And before the fight started, he looked at his opponent and pretended to write something down in a notebook, then put it in his pocket. By the way, I only captured last moment, and in general, I thought that he would really now teach the Belarusian lessons in African combat sambo. But the silver medalist of the European Championship, Belarus Zhenya Mikno, did not fall for this nonsense, and for little less than 3 minutes, he carried the dark-skinned athlete around the mat, simultaneously demonstrating interesting techniques that he had learned in his time. 8-0 without a chance. Kiron, write in the comments what you were writing in your notebook before the match. Another preliminary match where Armenian athlete Mais Nersesyan, the current European champion, had to prove twice that he deserved to be the winner. A powerful left overhand knocks the Dutch freak Jössel off his feet. And I see again that it's a fall on the back. The touch with both shoulder blades is obvious. Correct me if I'm wrong. The judges, after reviewing the footage, are convinced that it was a fall on the buttocks, and considering that the attacking fighter in a standing position multiplied the score by 2, after that, Moise decides to finish the match in a way that allows him to feel that coveted hand slap from his opponent on his leg, something every sambist dreams of. Choking with a jacket is the pinnacle of skill in combat sambo. Venezuelan athletes excel in international competitions. In this match, Lucas Barrigalis stopped Indonesian Epirama Genting. The 1/8 finals featured, in particular in this preliminary fight, Lucas Barrigalis confidently closed the further advancement of the Indonesian Epirama Genting through the tournament grid. The legend of Kyrgyz combat sambo, Sayak Barakanov, completed the round of 8 finals. This guy definitely makes it to the semifinals and finals at the biggest international competitions. He has in his arsenal the ability to deliver powerful striking techniques as well as throwing techniques, but here, Sayak shone with what some sambists call the Buryat choke, where you firmly grab one side of the jacket while using the other hand to hold the opponent's leg. and tapping out in that position is inevitable. Well, unless a person doesn't want to fall asleep. The Bulgarian Delen Iliev chose to stay conscious. A quarterfinal match that deserved to be the final. As Sheikh Mansour said, don't drink tea with your opponents. The Maracana athlete Yusuf Fayot had a great relationship with Sheikh Mansour Kabibullayev, and for both of them, of course, going out to hit each other after friendly conversations is not a priority. The Russian fighter stated that this was the toughest fight for him in the tournament. I'm not sure about the technical aspect, but in a moral sense, definitely. The fight lasted the full 5 minutes and was quite intense. There was no strong pressure on the Moroccan, and he showed some of his skills in the fight with Kabibullayev. But the outcome is expected, and the ending deserves a motivational video about friendship in sports. Barakanov's quarterfinal match against the Venezuelan was interesting in the first minute. Sayak executed a lift under Lucas Barigalika's leg quite impressively, but the subsequent actions on the mat only indicated that the fight was ongoing. As a result, we didn't see any more scoring actions. Kyrgyz in the semifinal. Venezuelan packs his bags after finishing 5th at the World Championships. The semi-final fight between Sheikh Mansour and Muratbek Rakhmatulin did not take place due to the latter's withdrawal, but Maiz and Sayak dragged each other around the mat, obviously not going into an open exchange, but thoughtfully catching each other on their mistakes. Nersesyan was a little lucky in this fight, gifting the bronze to Barakanov with his throws, and went on to the final. Try his luck with the Russian legend of combat Sambo, Sheikh Mansour Kabibullayev. The legendary fighter didn't drink tea with the Armenian athlete. Your hands were untied, you could do whatever you wanted, but for some reason, the sparkle in your eyes seemed to fade. Even Sheikh Mansour started to talk about it. Nevertheless, I'm sure everyone wants to become a 6-time world champion. In this fight, I was waiting for him to catch Mace with his uppercut. It turned out that Ace himself seized the moment with his favorite overhand and fired at the Russian's helmet. That's exactly what's needed. Sheikh Mansour said such moments motivate him, and he goes all out. After scoring, Kabibullayev won gold at the World Championship for the 6th time. After scoring a few points during the match, Kabibullayev takes gold at the World Championship for the 6th time with a beautiful hip throw worth 4 points. Now I know 2 6-time world champions in this sport. Friends, write in the comments who else has won the gold at the World Championship in Combat Sambo 6 times.